Hey, welcome. A lot of us get trapped thinking our salary is the problem, right? That it's just not big enough to build any real wealth. But what if that's completely wrong? Today, we're going to break down exactly how to turn that regular paycheck from just income into a powerful engine for building your wealth. Okay, let's dive right into this powerful idea. I mean, think about it. This one sentence just completely flips the script on a belief that keeps so many of us stuck. It's not about the size of the paycheck, it's about the plan you have for it. That's the mindset shift, right there. And it changes everything. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to totally reframe how you look at your salary. Then, we'll figure out where you are right now on your journey. After that, I'm going to walk you through a super powerful 5-stage framework for building wealth. We'll also call out the common traps to avoid, and then we'll wrap it all up with a practical launchpad you can start using like today. All right, first things first, we have to completely change how we think about our salary. For most people, it's just about survival, right? Paying the rent, buying groceries, keeping the lights on. We're going to flip that on its head and start seeing it as our #1 tool for strategy and for growth. So this is the big question, the fundamental one. Is your paycheck just for survival mode, or is it for building capital? Because as long as it's only about covering this month's bills, you're just on a hamster wheel, running and not getting anywhere. The second you decide that money is for building your future, for creating assets that grow, that's when the whole game changes. Okay, so how do we actually start building? Well, first you gotta know your starting point. Financially speaking, people usually fall into one of 3 buckets. And figuring out which one you're in right now, that's the absolute first step to getting where you wanna be. So on one side, you've got the consumers. This is where most of us start, right? Money comes in, money goes right back out. Then some people level up to being what we might call stabilizers. They save a little, build a bit of a cushion, but the real magic, the lasting wealth, that happens at the 3rd level, the builders. Builders don't just earn money. Nope, they put that money to work, creating more assets for them. And this brings us to a really crucial point. Think of your salary not as the final product, not as the fruit, but as the seed. If you eat all your seeds, you're going to stay poor, right? You'll have nothing left to grow. But if you plant that seed, if you invest it, use it to build new skills, it can literally grow into a forest of financial freedom. Okay, so we've got the mindset down. That's huge. Now let's get into the practical how-to. This 5-stage wealth framework, this is your blueprint. It's the step-by-step plan to put all this thinking into real-world action, and you can start with your very next paycheck. And it's a really logical progression you'll see. First, we get crystal clear on where your money is actually going. Then, we build a solid foundation, a safety net. From there, we create a real system for your money. Then, we start turning that salary into actual assets. And finally, we scale and multiply everything. Look, before you even think about doing any aggressive investing, you have got to build a solid foundation. Why? It's simple. Because one surprise car repair, one unexpected medical bill, that can totally wipe out months of hard work if you're not ready for it. This stage is all about building a strong defense so your offense can really shine. And this little chart, it perfectly shows the kind of discipline we're talking about. This system basically forces you to become a builder. By setting aside, say, 20% for investments and another 20% for growing your skills or a business before you spend anything else, you're planting your seeds first. And listen, consistency here is so much more important than the actual amount. Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. Notice how active all of this is. Your salary isn't just sitting in a savings account. No, it's being deployed. It's becoming the fuel to learn new skills that boost your income, or to start a side hustle that you actually own, or to buy investments that are working for you around the clock. This is the big shift, from working for your money to having your money work for you. All right, building wealth isn't just about doing all the right things. It's just as much about avoiding the big mistakes. Knowing what these common traps are can seriously save you years of wasted time and effort. Okay, of all these, lifestyle inflation has got to be the sneakiest one. You know what I'm talking about, right? You get a raise, and boom, your spending goes right up with it. A nicer apartment, a new car. It feels like you're making progress, but really, you're just running faster on the exact same treadmill. And the other traps are just as bad. Having no investment plan, that's just letting your money get eaten away by inflation. Relying only on your salary? Super risky. That one income stream could disappear. And that fear of starting small, that can keep you from ever starting at all. You just have to decide to invest the difference, make a simple plan, and just start, even if it's small. Okay, so we've covered the mindset, we've gone through the framework, and we've pointed out the traps. Now, let's bring it all home and turn this from theory into a simple, repeatable habit you can do every single month. This right here, this is your practical take-home blueprint. The second your salary lands in your bank account, before you pay rent, before you pay any bill, you immediately allocate your investment and growth money. You pay your future self first. That simple, non-negotiable habit, that is the entire system in action. And honestly, this is the perfect way to sum it all up. Wealth isn't about waiting until you get some huge paycheck. No, it's about what you do with what you have right now. It's about having a strategy to keep it, a plan to grow it, and a system to multiply it. See, your salary isn't the problem. It's your launch pad. So the real question isn't how much do I earn? It's what am I doing with what I earn? If this has shifted your perspective at all today, the single most important thing you can do is apply this system to your very next paycheck. Seriously, don't wait. And hey, subscribe for more on mindset, personal development, value monetization, business, and of course, wealth building. Thanks so much for being here.